Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another edition of a conversation with Brother Raymond, right here on Rhythm Flow Radio live stream. And my name is Katie Lowe, and I'm going to tell you, I am so happy today because you know what? It looks like, I mean, last week I grew a year older. I'm telling you, I'm making another trip around the sun. And I am so proud to say that I'm 72 years old and I am so blessed. Oh, I'm blessed. I mean, I got my feet on the ground. I got a sound mind. I can hear, I can walk, I can talk, and I feel just great. I can tell you that every time the devil plants a seed, I can tell you I can dig it up and destroy it because I have something that nobody else does. And you can get it too. But you know, in order to get it, you gotta have faith. And I'm gonna tell you, I got that faith. And you don't have to have a lot of faith. You can have a small amount of faith. You can have the faith of a mustard seed and you can conquer any and everything that you want to. Because I want you to know the devil is busy. And when I woke up this morning, he was busy with me. Oh, he was busy with me. Oh, he tried me. Yes, he did. He tried me. But you know what? I did not let that stop a thing because I know in life you have to keep going. I know that there are all kind of obstacles that are going to be in our way. And we cannot let those obstacles deter us from where we're going in life. You have to kick them to the curb. As they say, honey, you have to for a girl like me, I have to put on my big girl panties and I have to keep stepping. I just cannot allow the devil to have his way with me. And I know that to be so true. I'm still waiting on Brother Raymond. You know, he's got a birthday coming up in a couple of days. So I'm waiting on him to log in so we can bring it to the screen. You know, he likes to start his show with prayer. And I love for him to start the show with prayer. That's why I'm going to try to hold on till he comes in. And I want to tell you the name of the song that I play at the beginning of his show. The song is called Faith. The song is by a young lady from Chicago's South Side. Her name is Charmaine DuPont, who recently retired. Charmaine is a woman of God, and she recently retired. And I don't know if I should be putting this out, but honey, I heard that she was gonna move down to Nashville and start her music career. I mean, she's already got a music career, but I think she going 100% full force have her music career do what it do. Okay, so you know, I guess after retirement, you can do what you do, and I know that to be true. Okay, I can vouch for that. Also, I want to tell you on Monday. Monday will be July 18th. You should log in at 5 o'clock and catch me on Opinions, live stream, and podcast right here on Meta, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker with Yogi H.D. Howard. Yogi is, he is a certified yoga instructor, but he's very, very spiritual. And he's going to come and talk to us about the mind, the body, and soul being aligned, being in alignment. And then there's some other things that he's going to throw in there. It's a surprise. I can't tell you about that, but you must check that out. That's Monday. Oh, at 7 o'clock, right here on Meta, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. That's Opinions live stream. So make sure that you log into that. And we're still waiting on Brother Raymond because I want him to start his show off with prayer like he normally does. Hopefully, he'll log in a few minutes because our guest is already here. And our guest is from Chicago today, right here in the Windy City. So we'll just give him another few minutes to log in. Sometimes things don't go the way we plan them. But even if they don't go the way we plan them, hey, that doesn't stop anything from happening. We just have to, you don't give up. It just motivates you to keep doing something better. That's what it does. You never give up. Because when you give up on yourself. And you're never supposed to give up on yourself. You're supposed to, when things don't go your way, you're supposed to look inside of yourself and find that extra bit of energy and pull it out and just make it do what it do. Okay, well, it's 5:08. You know what I'm gonna do? Maybe maybe I should call the guest. Maybe I should bring the guest to the screen. And maybe I should. Hold on. I don't have to be on the screen by myself. I got a guest. Hey, yes. So, guest, would you unmute your mic?
Yeah, how you doing today?
I'm Jay. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I could do that. I'm Russell Jackson. I'm the director of programs for Transforming Reentry Services. We're a nonprofit organization that caters to the reentry population. Um, Southside Chicago, we have an office at 10 West 35th Street.
Mhm.
We have another office on the west side of the city at 601 South California, on the corner of California and Harrison. Uh, like I said, we do reentry work. We have people coming home from prisons and jails every day. They have needs. We try to cater to those needs, especially when it comes to Social Security card, birth certificates, state identification. We make sure we take care of that. And we do a whole host of other services. We have a harm reduction services. I have a GED class. Um, I'm also a case manager for Ryan White program. I manage about 30 to 35 clients who are coming home from prisons or jail who are HIV positive, and I help them manage their cases, get their medicines, housing, whatever whatever need there is there. So we do that, and uh, we have a great program going here. And I used to work with Brother Raymond. Used to
Mhm.
working with him. Used to being in the meetings with him, and Brother Raymond got kind of tired of just talking about doing stuff and talking about doing stuff, and then the next month talking about doing stuff. So he said, well, okay, so when we gonna get around to actually doing something? So of course, Brother Raymond went off on down to Texas to try to create some thunder. You know what I'm saying? When he walks, I know he walks heavy, and he want to go down there and get something going. So we've been in communication. We never lost touch. Created a CAB, Consumer Advisory Board here at Transforming Reentry Services. Uh, and what that board consists of is about 20, 25 young men and women who are formerly incarcerated, but haven't had any criminal justice involvement in the past 3 to 5 years. I don't know if Raymond gonna come in, so I can just keep talking. So I don't want to
Yeah,
talk.
listen. I know he's gonna come in. I know
So
he's
that's
just
good,
probably trying to get somewhere where he could get stationary, where that
right?
he won't be trying to drive. Before we just get into the midst of what you do and the service that you also provide to returning citizens,
Right.
I was going to ask you, are you familiar anyway with the Jalen Walker case?
I'm not. No.
Not okay. Okay. Well, I won't bring that up. Okay. I was going to ask you. You said that you met Brother Raymond when he came home or before he came home.
Oh yeah, when we came home, actually, we were both at Cornerstone Recovery Home,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a returning citizen myself. So me
Okay.
and Brother Raymond used to go all to meetings, go to all the meetings, and years and years later, we went back to Cornerstone to kind of, we go back to the recovery home to meet with the guys and trying to see what it is that they need to help them transition, keep them from going back to prison and jail. That's the biggest question. What do you need? Or what can someone do for you to keep you from going back to
Oh,
prison and
girl.
jail?
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, me and Brother Raymond, that's our mission to try to, brothers standing together, try to help one another brother, just get his life back together and make that smooth transition from prison to, back into society.
Hold on for a minute. I think I have him on the phone. Let me try to see what. Okay. Hello? 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 I got him on the phone, but let me see if I can connect back with him
Okay,
because he
that'd be
just called me. He just called me. So I'm going to see if I can try to connect back with him. I know he's on the highway.
right, right.
Okay, so when you all connected, at that time when you all connected, were you all trying to do a program for those for the guys that were in the recovery home, or were you part of the recovery home?
We were part of the recovery home. We were part of the
Well,
recovery home. I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Louisiana. I'm one of them Southern boys. So I didn't have any relatives here or anything. So went to the recovery home, and we decided that our fate wasn't going to be just being in a recovery home or going back and forth to prison. That we wasn't made like that. So that wasn't going to be our makeup. That we was going to make a difference in other people's lives by just changing our lives and trying to make sure that we do something positive. So I went to work for a ministry. Been here 12, 13 years now. And then Raymond started his own organization, and I've supported what he's done, and he supported what we're doing here. As a matter of fact, he called me today and told me he wanted to do a documentary on my CEO. You know what I'm saying? So,
uh-huh.
that's just the kind of brother Raymond is. So we're waiting to see what that's going to look like. He just wants some information and wants some brothers to talk about, how the CEO has changed, their lives. Reverend Doris Green, how she has changed so many people's lives who are coming home from prison and jail.
Okay, just 1 second, Bill, because he just popped in the screen. Hold on.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up, my brother?
Okay, you know what? Let me get out of your screen. Why don't you do your prayer and then you can go straight into your show?
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
All righty.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a conversation, with Brother Raymond. I'm your host. I'm a little late. It's my birthday weekend, so y'all charge to my head, not to my heart. Heavenly Father, we thank you for waking us up in our right frame of mind, allowing us to be here today. We thank you for our special guests, and we ask that you continue to provide us from all hurt, harm, and danger. In your mighty precious son, in Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
amen, amen, bro.
Amen. Hey, what's up, my brother? We
What's
got
happening,
Brother
man?
Russell in the building, baby.
Hey,
What's
good to see you here, man. Good to see you. How you doing?
It's good, man. Let me take these glasses off. Let me take my glasses off. Take my glasses off.
Okay, that is you back there. Okay, I see you now.
Yeah, that is. That's me. That's me,
Right,
man.
right.
Man, how you doing, brother?
Man, it's a struggle, man. It's always a struggle. It's always things happening one day, the next day. You just got to take one day at a time.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. But man, I'm so grateful to have you on the show, man. We just want to do a very quick excerpt, shout out to people. So everyone who's celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. Anyone who lost somebody, you have our condolences. Brother
Right.
Russell is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Russell is in the building. This is one of my brothers from A1 from day one, so we go back real far. So, brother, without further ado, you tell him what you do. Go and give him your back. Give him to him if you ain't gave it to him already.
Well,
But
I kind of started a little bit.
I know my partner did.
I'm a returning citizen. I'm the
Mhm.
director of program for Transform Reentry Services. Been here about 13, 14 years now. Uh,
Yes.
I met Raymond about 13, 14 years ago, right before I got here.
That's right. That's right. That's
And
right.
met him there, and we just decided to do something positive. That we were gonna get caught up in a system, that wasn't made for us in the first place. But it wasn't to our advantage to be a part of that system. So we wanted to do something different. Not that we were special or anything, but we just wanted to do something different so we can give back. Uh, Helping people coming home from prison and jail. It's my mission. It's what I do.
That's
We
it.
do so many services: ID services, Social Security card, birth certificate, GED services, housing. Whatever it is a person needs to help that transition, so they don't get caught up in a cycle of recidivism and keep going back and forth to prison. Then that's what we're doing. We can't just put a label, because if you just say you do this or you do that, then there's something that you don't do. So
Right.
what we do is what it takes. So my question to a person that come into the office today is, what it is that we can do to keep you from going back to the joint? Is it a house? Is it a job? What is it that you need that we can assist you with to keep you from going back to prison? That's
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it,
what we
man.
want to do.
Because you know how we go. We going back. So I'm taking it back. Let's go from how you got here before you got here. Let's get into the real deal, Holyfield, because this is a testimony that people need to hear. Because you're resilient, resounding, man. I love everything you're doing, man. I am just so honored, man, by you, man. Because you're
Right? I think you're freezing. Your internet is going out just a little bit. So here's the deal. Find myself incarcerated,
yeah,
35 years. End up doing 17 and a half years in the prison. Come home to Chicago, which wasn't my home. I'm from Louisiana. It was a struggle. I mean, if I make it sound like it was easy, it wasn't. People look at me now, and they just don't know my story. They don't know
right.
that this is just glory right here. You know what I'm saying? But I came through a rough time. I remember getting up in the morning, leaving Cornerstone, hitting the street. I got to hit the pavement. You got to go find something to do.
Yes,
Got to find something to do. And at that time, people wasn't really trying to hear from a person that just came home from prison or jail. They wasn't trying to give you a
that's
job
right.
or a hand up, or all I wanted was an opportunity to be able to do something. And I met Reverend Doris Green, and she gave me an opportunity to do something. And like I said, I've been here 14 years, and I ain't going nowhere. It's
That's
like,
right.
all people need is a opportunity, somebody who can believe in them to do something. And 95% of the staff here is formerly incarcerated.
Yes,
That's the way we roll. We feel like if we serve in a community, we might well hire the population.
that's
I
it.
serve a community, and when the people come in here, they don't have no one who understand their struggle, or understand their background, or what they've gone through.
Right.
Many a days I've set up in Cornerstone, just wanting to get out there to go get a job, and parole agent holding you back. Many times I come home from looking for a job, and just disgusted and disgruntled because when nobody give me an opportunity, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And it's just opportunities. So, nowadays, people, because of where I'm at now, of course they want to meet. They want to talk. And I remember being in a meeting with you where, you know, we met one month, and then we came back the next month. We met again, and we met again the next month. Well, in between those months, wasn't nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about what they was going to do in the meeting, and then when the meeting was over with, they wait till the next month and talk about doing that again in the meeting. So it's about doing something, So if you ain't really doing nothing, I mean, you got to be about something. People respond. I was on a webinar last night with the faith community, and they was talking about opening up their doors, opening up their churches to returning citizens, because they just want to welcome them home, and
Hmm.
so the climate has changed. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like it that the faith religion would welcome returning citizens into their congregation, and looking for them, actually out trying to find out what is it that we can do to engage you. You know what I'm saying? perhaps a job, perhaps a housing. Housing is a big issue here in Chicago.
Yes, it is. It
You know,
is. It's
it's
a
a huge
huge.
issue. And being a correction case manager with the Ryan White program, it shows. You know what I'm saying? I have clients that sleep on the bridges. I have clients that sleep on the buses and trains.
Yeah.
Now, don't misunderstand me. Some of that is because that's where they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In talking about housing and making sure that the people who are homeless have a nice, warm place to stay, that's not always the case, and that's not always the issue. I may think that would be good, but I had a situation where I had a client that was sleeping under the bridge down here on Cermak, and he was okay with that because that was his environment. They took him out of it and put him up in this hotel for about 2 months, right? And he couldn't stand it. He couldn't function in that environment. So a lot of time when we think we're trying to save people or help people, and we being goody two shoes, we taking them out of their environment that they function in, and then putting them in an environment where they can't function. So
Right.
so that could be a problem. So a lot of time we got to understand the person, and if you don't understand where a person came from and what the person has gone through, then how you going to be able to help him and assist him into getting to that next level that he wants to get to, not the next level that you want him to get to, but the next level that he wants to get to. And
Right.
we have to remember that it's really important to be able to listen to a person, find out what it is they want. Don't just assume that because you want a warm bed or a house and a car in the garage, that's not for everybody. Everybody don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? You absolutely right, brother. Um, and then it takes some adapting because
Right.
in the beginning, I can remember vividly coming from under Lower Wacker Drive and finally being in warmth, finally being in a bed in a closed facility and environment where I was safe. I didn't feel safe.
Wow.
I had to learn that all over on because I was so used to being outside and I can get up, I can go this way, I can go that way. When I got up, the door was there. It was, steps and rules and regulations and all that. So I had to get back used to that, believe it or not. And so I do understand the young man's plight. And that's why that piece is very important for the returning citizens and the homelessness to have someone there to talk to them that's been where they've been.
Right. Exactly. It's very important. Very important. And if you don't understand, I mean, I used to always think about, AA, how one alcoholic is going to help another alcoholic.
Yeah.
And then when I came home, it came to me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, these people don't understand, what I've gone through. Even my wife couldn't understand some of the things I go to. I get up in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
look out the window,
Yes.
the same window every night or the same door every night. You know what I'm
Ah, yes. Yeah.
saying?
Check the door 1,000 times.
There you go, right? Check and make sure it's locked. She don't understand why I have to do that, but it's something
Checking
I
the
have to do.
checking the windows. Making sure everything's secure before we lay it down.
Right, right. So she don't understand why I have to do that or why I do it. They just go to bed and it's okay. But being incarcerated is it's traumatizing.
Yes,
Anybody
it
that's been
is.
incarcerated, they've gone through a certain degree of trauma. And
Mhm.
if that's not treated, if you don't really take care of the trauma that you've experienced, then it could become a mental health issue. You know what
And
I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm glad you touched on that, brother, because that's exactly what is going on right now. And a
Right,
lot of people don't understand that it hasn't been addressed. All that childhood, the sex abuse and the drug abuse and the homelessness that has not been addressed. I haven't fully addressed it. So that is an issue that I have been walking around with. But luckily for me, I have been spiritually fit. So
right,
we're talking, look, what about the ones who are not? What
right,
about the ones who don't have nobody to talk to? And this is where you see the explosion out of the children as well as the older uh, cats, because at the end of the day, no one wants to sit down and talk about it. You have to talk. They need therapy. We all need therapy.
yeah, we all need therapy. That's
And we
true.
and if we get the therapy, I think that will help make us even more productive and even more substantial to society because this is something we know we're not alone and we know we don't suffer by ourselves. A lot of us walk around with that notion to conceal it because we were taught. That's one of the learned behaviors that I was talking about, and I was sharing with Katie Lowe, my partner. That's a learned behavior, like racism, all that stuff. And that's a learned behavior because nobody woke up and said they're gonna be a murderer, killer, drug dealer, or a drug addict. They didn't wake up saying they're gonna be homeless. They didn't wake up saying they're gonna go to jail for the rest of their life. That's a learned behavior. So that's a pattern that one learns along the way. And once they learn it, then they incorporate it into their everyday lives until it comes to a head. Once it comes to a head, then everybody say, "Oh, he's just a bad boy." No, he wasn't a bad boy. He was a traumatized little boy. She was a traumatized little girl because she has been abused or he has been abused, or they seen some things and they weren't able to identify or address it because no one talked about it. So that's very important that you talked about that, brother.
Yeah, and our people, I hate to say this, but there was a time here at Transform Regional Service that we had a psychologist here, a couple of days a week, and sparingly, a brother or sister would come in. I say, hey, look here, you want to talk to somebody? Oh no, I ain't crazy. What me? I ain't crazy. I don't want to talk to nobody. So we get that, and I try to let them know. Look here, sometimes I get stressed out. I come up here and I just look out the window just to
That's right.
just to relax myself and meditate.
That's it.
And if I have to go in there and sit down and talk to someone and just tell them my problems, you know what I'm saying, and then they can just and give me something or just listen to me. It's enough sometimes. It's if they just listen and you just get it off your shoulder, then that's enough. But our people just think that, because you're talking to someone or someone wants you to talk to someone, that you crazy or that you messed up. And that's not what we're trying to say. We just say, let's talk to somebody.
That's it. And that's the thing. That's the thing we're talking about, bro. And that's what we have to understand, that at the end of the day, this is what's needed. In
Right.
order for us to fully, because we don't heal. So that means I'm 50, I'll be 54. I'll be walking around 54 years old with 13, with 20 plus some years of affliction inside of me that I didn't properly deal with.
Right.
And so just imagine a child who never gets help.
Right.
So that's another thing we have to address. So I'm with you, man, on that, and I applaud, man. I applaud men and women prison ministry, man, for all Reverend Green has done and is continuing to do.
Right.
Your work, your travels, children. I mean, Mike, that was my man. Rest in peace. One of my mentors, and so these are the things that we talk about, man. But we have to get this out there. We talk about the mental illness. We do talk about that. But brother, we never talk about getting a doctor to see
Right.
these people so that we can sit down. And maybe we have to lead by example. And I don't have a problem with it. Like I
Right.
tell you, I'll go to the doctor. And I wish I know it's confidentiality, but
Right.
if they can see that I'll go to the doctor and let you see it myself that I have some things that I'm dealing with as well in order to, because they say you got to lead by example.
Exactly.
Because we're
Right.
like Pharisees, we don't believe nothing until we see it.
Right.
Once we
Right.
see it, then we'll believe it. But if you told me, hey Raymond, if you go in that doctor's office, she can help cure some of your pain, I'm not gonna believe that.
Right.
But if I see you do it and I see you change, then I'm gonna change. The same thing with addictions, the same with everything. We gotta
Right.
be see, we have to learn how to continuously walk by faith. So
Exactly.
once we walk by faith and not by sight, then we can do these things. This is how I'm able to do this show. I don't do this show because I'm a skillful person. I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best host, but I have the best faith. That's how I like to say. And so long as I have the faith to do something and God gives it to me and He leading the path, then I don't have a problem with it. Because whatever issues you have with me is not my issues.
Mm.
Those are your issues. And that's
Right.
what the program talks about. The issue, when you say you have issues, it's usually you. It's not the person, it's usually you. So that's the thing that we're talking about. And so I just want to, because man, I'm talking about, now here's a brother, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know, Russell was one of my mentors. We all came up together, but Russell went and excelled to great depths and great heights, and he never looked back. No, I didn't look back, but I'm gonna have to tell you, this man was so humble to where you didn't even know Russell was in the room but you felt his presence. And that's one of the things that I admire so much about this brother. He didn't have to, like, he wasn't like me. I was Malcolm X. He was the humble one. I'm gonna let you know.
Right.
Russell would sit there and he would a whole lot better and maybe a whole lot quicker. But he did it with a humble soul. And with his humble soul, he got much more accomplished than I did because I probably ran off half the people that was there to help me. But he attracted them.
Right.
So it was like the King and Malcolm. So, Malcolm, King was a spiritual man, Malcolm was a rebel. So that's how it was. But we both believed that without help for returning citizens,
Right.
this would be it would have exploded. So we went on that raft and we're still on that page. And not only is that, he is at the office. Man, this man has got so many degrees and certifications since being released that it's just it's applaudable, and I take my hat off to him. I've been trying to get this guy on the show for the last what?
It's been a while, ain't it?
I've been trying to get him on the show because this is how much I believe in my brother, and I'm just telling them I love y'all, man. I believe in y'all, and I need y'all to be honored. Like Charles Perry. I got to get Charles on the show. Y'all so busy,
Right.
doing God's work that you can't interfere with God's work. But I just want to. This is what this show is about. It's not about the behind the mic. It's about the people with the boots on the ground that's actually making a difference. Since you have came home, brother, you have changed over thousands and thousands of lives. I know that. I've witnessed that. You have helped change the group of calves of us. And
Right.
we'll talk about that in a minute. And you never let up. You know what I'm saying? You never let up. Even though I'm way out doing what I'm doing, you always hit me. Hey, man, we got a meeting. If you can make it, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. If you can make it, we know you're busy, but if you can make it, it'll be cool. And that's another thing I learned, not to be so busy when I'm not doing what God has called me to do.
Right.
See, every time we got to go back into our prayer medication, like the book talks about and the program talks about, we got to make time.
Yeah, you got to make time.
You got to make time for yourself and what got you there. You can't deviate from what got you there. And what got us there was we was making means to it make sense. We understood the plight, and we knew that in order to make change, we had to be the change we wanted to see. And like you made it, and you've been there. How long you been there again? 14 years.
14 years now. Yep. Just one of those things, Raymond. With the cab, I was speaking about it early. It's 25 men and women been formerly incarcerated. And we did we go out and we do presentations for faith-based organizations, for churches, and we just tell our story. We let them know who we are, because we're not trying to hide. A lot of times people come home from prison and jail and they get that little nice job and the little house and the two cars in the garage. And the last thing they want to do is be bothered with someone who's been in prison and jail, or at least let somebody know that they've been there.
Exactly.
But we got a new group of people who want to be able to help and give back. And you're part of the cab, and you know what we want to do. What we want to do, we want to mentor these people when they're coming home, and ask them that question again. What is it that we need to do to keep you from going back to prison? What can we do? We have resources. We have landlords. I'm a director of program. We have jobs. So whatever it is they need, we have it within that 25 people, that group of people who's willing to give them back on, who's been in their shoes and understand what they're doing. So we're starting to get a little. We're starting to make the water wave up a little bit. It's starting to get rough, and people are finding out who we are and what it is that we're trying to do. And all we want to do is make a difference in people. We ain't trying to save the whole world, but we want to make a difference in people's lives where they don't have to go back to prison and jail. There's another way. There's something else to do. And whatever it is, or whatever it takes to get the brothers that come in tomorrow morning, they come into the office tomorrow morning, whatever it takes for me to keep him from going back to jail, then that's what we're going to do. And that's what the cab is about.
And that's a great thing. And it comes without great sacrifice, because as you were saying, your wife didn't understand about how much you work and how it goes and all that stuff, but gradually and now she does know. She does know that you were called to do this. You were one of the chosen. The Bible said, "Many are called, only a few are chosen," and you're one of the chosen ones. And I'm just so grateful for brothers and like you, like programs like that. You know, Reverend Green, Richard, and what's their sister? What's the sister's name?
Kim.
Kim and
Kim.
Kim. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful for them. And Mike, that's Mike's flock. You know, and
Right,
his flock just went on to explore all over the world. I'm looking at Richard; he traveling the globe. You know,
yeah.
doing great work and stuff like that. But you know, it all started from here, from right there where you at. Man.
Right here. The one office down. The one office down the hall. Down the hall down there. We got suites down here on this end now.
Right. See what I'm saying?
God is good.
It went from a corner office space. Now it's suites.
Now we got a suite. Yeah, you know.
You
Ain't
went
God
from a
good when He do it?
to a worker. Now you're a director. Come on,
Right.
man. That
Hey,
ain't nothing but God, man.
ain't nothing but God, ain't it? You
That's
know,
God. All up in that, you know.
and I tell people, you know, say, "Oh man, I want to be like you." I said, "Man, if you know what I've gone through," I said, "You looking at God's glory now. This is the glory. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my story.
Man, they don't know. They don't know, man.
They just don't know." Right.
And they think that because they see, they only see that they don't see the work part.
Right.
This is the after. This is the after effects. Once you do what God tells you to do, like in the program, and say, this is the promises.
Right.
So this is the promise. So now you and I are receiving the promises that God promised us after we put in the work.
Right.
So that's all they see right now. They don't see Russ when Russ was struggling. They don't see when Russ was homeless. They don't see when Russ was incarcerated. They don't see when Russ was addicted. They don't see that.
Yeah,
they just see the shining brother that's motivated and dedicated to saving as many lives as he can save. And they say, I want that. But are you willing to do what it takes in order to get that?
Right.
That's what I be trying to tell the brothers.
That's what it is. Right. That's what it is.
They always tell, hey, Brother Raymond, I want to do what you do. I say, are you serious? Yeah. I say, well, go and volunteer. Man, I can't volunteer right now. I got to get paid. I said, well, you ain't willing to do what I do.
Hey, I get that a lot too. I get that. You know,
you ain't willing.
If you don't volunteer, you don't really get hired here. You know, we do the volunteer,
right.
And it's one of those things where you know, I don't know what else I would do. People ask me, well, why you ain't gonna be a preacher? I mean, God didn't call me and tell me to be no preacher. This is my ministry here. God told me to just help people when they come out of jail. She said, you know, when nobody there to help you when you came out. So be a resource for someone who's coming out now, and to make it so kind of make it like when I came home back in 14 years ago, there wasn't a lot of resources. There wasn't a lot of talk and money thrown at reentry. It just wasn't there. And now all of a sudden we become commodities somehow. Reentry has become a commodity, and everybody wants to throw money at reentry, but then they don't know what to do with it because they won't hire. They won't hire reentry. They set up at the tables and they create things for people who aren't at the table with them. So you know what I'm saying? So how are you going to create something for me without me being at the table? I mean, at least invite me to the table.
And that's all we fought for.
That's all we want to be. Just be at the table so I can have a voice and say what I want.
And we didn't let up.
Right.
We didn't let up because we knew if we didn't fight, then ain't nobody going to do it.
Exactly. Nobody going to do it for us.
And that's one of the beautiful things I love about you is that you stood there and you're still there.
Still here,
I'm
bro.
trying to get this code because we in Orlando. I'm in Orlando.
Oh, you in Orlando? I thought you was in Houston. Okay.
No, I'm in Orlando. It's my birthday weekend. My friends. See, this is another part of the promises. You're doing good things. Good people coming to your life.
Say that now. Say that now. I ain't mad at you.
They said, we want you down here for our birthday. Now, my friends live in Tampa Bay. But they want to meet. They're doing something here in Atlanta. I'm in Orlando, and they got a Airbnb for the weekend for us.
Right.
Come out and have a nice time, you know, and say, Raymond, you work hard. You do a lot of work. We admire what you're doing, and so we want you to come out and celebrate because you know we don't do that, Russ. We don't do no celebrate.
Yeah, we don't take time. Sometimes, you know, we have to think about self-care. You know, I'll be 65 next month, and you know, at our age, you know, we can't keep helping people if we don't take care of ourselves. You know, So, we have a lot of trainings, a lot of self-care programs. I just came from New York myself. I was up in New York, up in some county. I was about 60 miles north of LaGuardia Airport.
Right.
They had a retreat, and they were talking about, being able to take care of yourself and not just get burned out because, the work that we do, you can get burned out quick. You can get burned out quick, and you might not realize it, that you're just burning yourself out. And sometimes you just have to take time for yourself, take a break. And it took me a long time to learn that. I'm here at the office now. Wife probably don't think I learned that now because I ain't got home yet. And I was here, and I was here till 8 o'clock last night because we had another webinar last night. I was here till 8 o'clock last night. So, but seriously, we have to take care of ourselves. I mean, we as black men don't like going to the doctor anyway.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when we do go and then we do find a place where we're comfortable and feel like going there, we really need to take care of ourselves. One last thing I wanted to say that, I remember this was about 9 years ago. We used to go to Springfield for HIV/AIDS conference, like a 4-day retreat for a conference. And every morning, Reverend Green would encourage me to come down to the meditation room. Just come down to the room and just meditate. I said, man, come on, I've been enjoying. I mean, all this. I'm just sit up there in a quiet room. A quiet room, and don't say nothing and don't do nothing. Just sit there. But when I got back, I had the comfort of being up here in this chair and looking out over the city of Chicago. I can see the city of Chicago. Yes. And every morning I try to get here like a half an hour, maybe an hour early, so I can just sit up here and meditate and just kind of connect and make sure that, I'm in God's grace, that I'm doing what God wants me to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time, we get to doing stuff that we want to do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time when it don't go the way we wanted to go because it wasn't what God told you to do in the first place.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time we just have to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? Be obedient and just learn how to listen to what it is that you're called to do. And all I have to do is my part. I ain't got to do everybody else's part.
No.
All I have to do is just do my part. You know what I'm saying? Just do my part of the plan, and then everything else will work all out right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's the most important thing, bro. You hit the nail on the head. Because in fact, I learned that while incarcerated.
Right,
how to just be still because we couldn't go nowhere any damn way.
You're right.
I need to get the password, bro. It's like, so when I sat there in the cell and I'm like, wow. Okay, talk to me, Lord. Tell me what you want me to do. Send me where you want to send me. Make sure I got everything I need. And he started to do that. And when he started to do that, I started to understand more. And he started to reveal himself to me of what he wanted me to do. So I started to learn more. I started to read more. I started to have conversations with people that I need to have conversations with, And so that's one of the things we're doing right now as well. As you see, Brother Jimmy all in the video. And, I need that code, bro. Okay, put that code in here for me. Put that code in there because my phone won't come on. So that's another thing we're doing, bro. And so when I learned how to do that now at home, I wake up, get out the bed, brush, wash my face, and I go in my room and I sit down and I pray and I meditate and I ask God to reveal to me what it is he wants me to do. And not for me, but for his people and for the people that I'm supposed to be helping. And so that I tell the people always, I'm not perfect by no stretch of the imagination, but what I am is a willing vessel.
Okay.
And I don't know everything. So that's another thing I love about myself. I don't pretend and get into that. I don't. And I'll tell people in a minute. Now, I don't know nothing about that. They're like, huh? No, I don't know. So you can't tell me that I know everything because I know I don't.
Right.
I don't know it. So that's another thing. And then another thing is just being grateful for the little things. Just being grateful for the little things, man. Like to be able to wake up like here. I'm grateful for this. My friends didn't have to do this,
Right.
You guys, Al, all y'all was my friends since we've been friends since we come home.
Mm-hmm.
We have not strayed. We have not anything that goes on. We do it everything together. I can reach out to you and call you. I can call Roger. I can call a lot of the Reentry family that's still part of the family and they still in the fight.
Right.
And they understand the plight because we all been there. And as they'll look at you, if I walked up to you right now to this day, there's nowhere in West Hill I can say he's been incarcerated. There's no way I can say he's been addicted. No way I can say he was home. Couldn't tell you that because God cleaned us up so good.
Amen.
You won't remember. And like the Bible says, he'll make your enemy your footstool. I kid you not. A guy, I was into it for years. I remembered him, but he never remembered me. He walked up to me and said, "Hey, man, I heard about you, man. Your brother Raymond, man. I need some help, man. I heard they say you was the man to talk to."
Right.
And I said, "Before we do that, let's pray." And I prayed. And after we prayed, I revealed who I was. He was like, "No way." Said,
Won't he do it? Gotta do it.
God would do it. I said, "This is God. This ain't me. This is God."
Right.
That's God got you sitting in that seat right there.
Amen. I know it. Believe me,
That's
I know
God
it.
got you. You help so many returning citizens become productive members of society. It's ridiculous. And all with the meekness and the humbleness. You don't take that for granted. See, we don't put that on Facebook. See, people don't see all that.
Right. Yeah, they don't get to see that.
Because we don't broadcast it because it's not to be broadcast. This is a mission that we're on, and this is what we have to do. So you ain't going to see it.
Right.
And that's why I had to have you on this show, brother, because they need to know. Now talk about transforming restorative services.
Okay, it's transforming reentry services. So, you know, for a long time we were just men and women prison ministry, and we did things. So what we decided to do was there was people that we wasn't reaching. We found out that our brothers were dying when they were coming home from prisons and jails. That they was going to these halfway houses and they was overdosing. You know, that was a big problem for us. And so we had to make a decision on what we wanted to do about that. So we got into the harm reduction, a needle exchange program, give them clean needles, clean kits, whatever it is that they're doing, if they can do it clean. Whatever. Even one time we wanted to get condoms in the prisons, and they thought we was crazy. Remember, we started the harm reduction coalition. We wanted to get that done. So what we want every time we do something is for the people who are incarcerated, those people who don't have a voice, those people who aren't at the table. If I can get them at the table, I think it would be a great thing. People ask us to come to events and support the event. First thing I want to see, let me see the flyer. Is my logo on the flyer? Is that logo on the flyer? So if my logo is not on the flyer, then I wasn't at the planning. I wasn't at the planning table. You didn't want me to come support something that y'all done planned already. Well, I wasn't at the planning table. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to make sure, everybody have a voice for themselves and speak up for what it is that they want to be included. So as a returning citizen that's transforming reentry services, we want to be at the table. That's all we want to do is be at the table and have a voice in what you're going to do for us. I don't know if you realize now, but Illinois passed the Marijuana Act, and marijuana is legal, and they got this R3 program, restore, reinvest, and renew, and they got this marijuana money going out to these community-based organizations that was in the area or in those small towns or whatever it was that was heavily impacted by the war on drugs. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to get that money back out there. But at the same time, they're still not giving black people that share dispensaries.
I will talk about that too.
Yeah, we're not getting the top share. We can work in them, but why we can't own one? I mean, if you got people in prison and jail for selling marijuana, they must have been good at it, right?
That's right.
So why they can't do it now that it's legal? Why they can't do it now that it's legal? You see what I'm saying? So
and that's the thing. That's the argument. I think that's been the argument because are we good enough to go to jail for it?
Right.
But we're not good enough to own one and run it.
Right. Own the dispensary and say. I mean, that's what they did all their life.
Exactly. And it impacted our community.
Right.
This is what the R3 grants for, then it
Right.
should be right there in poverty stricken neighborhoods.
Right. So
And those who've been mostly greatly impacted by it should be the ones who being the leader and the catalysts of this show.
it should
Because
be owners.
at the end of the day, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And they don't understand. They don't understand that. And so I got a few people that's like, Tyrone Muhammad and
Right. Right.
and they got these dispensaries they trying to get going, and yet they having such a hard time. But now this is what I'm talking about with the oppressor. This is what me and you we
Right.
like divided, because the oppressor want to continue to oppress us.
Right.
The same thing that he already oppressed us with. And not only that, that's like a smack in the face.
There you
How
go.
you gonna smack me in my face with this and gonna come in my community with your dispensary that you gave me a felony for, and I
Right.
probably went and served time for it on numerous occasions. So now that you wanted to make it legal because you couldn't make the cocaine legal, so you said, okay, it's one of them. We either gonna make the heroin, we can't make the heroin, can't make the coke, we're gonna make the weed legal. And this is how they go, this taxation without representation. This is what they're doing right now. So when they did this here, and I'm just keeping
I hear you. I'm right there on the front line with you.
This was so profound because everybody's saying, what the
Fahiji?
what do you think you're doing here? Oh man, no, you ain't trying that. And not only did they try, like the kids say, they did that.
Yeah,
and that's what they did. They came and opened up dispensaries in our community, so they want to keeping us oppressed,
right?
Keeping their feet on our necks, and they doing it in our community, and they doing this is smack in the face.
It really is
ridiculous, and that's why I applaud Tyrone Muhammad. I applaud the JRs and anybody else out there that's standing up for this, because that is ridiculous, man. How can you not come and have us at the table and we the ones went to jail for it? Right. I still, in my background, I got some weed cases.
Right. And there's still people in prisons now.
And I just was talking with the leadership council for Cabrini Green Legal Aid. We just had a meeting yesterday.
Right.
And so we're doing the Know Your Rights campaign, and we're going to get it out all over the country now. Ain't no more of that. And then we're also working on the clean slate. So the Clean Slate Act is to get rid of everything. We're not doing the waiting around. We're not doing the 6 and 8 months. We're trying to get it done. Once it's swiped clean, it's clean forever.
Clean forever, okay.
Because it's still preventing people from being productive members of society. I don't care what they say, because if the government, it might be a government job I'm going for. The government can see it, of course.
Right.
So the government can be biased, or they can be racist, and they already the oppressors. So they're gonna say, no, we ain't giving them that job. So now I still can't climb that ladder. But on the weed side is so wicked to where now they got everything. Infuse this, infuse that. They got the gummy bears, they got the teddy bears, they got everything out there.
I gotta ask, since y'all brought this subject up, and you mentioned Tyrone Muhammad's name, and I follow him and listen to. I kind of follow him and keep up with what he's doing.
That's my man, yeah.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago. He was in New York City.
Yeah.
And he was on what they call Weed Row.
Yeah. I seen it. Yeah.
And what fascinated me was in New York City, of course, the blacks did not have a license to own a dispensary.
No.
But they had a peddler's license.
Yeah.
A peddler's license from the city of New York. And they were on the streets.
Yeah.
In the city of New York, peddling legal weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's what they'll do. They'll give you your peddler's license.
They won't do it here in Chicago.
You're not going to own no dispensaries, though.
But you are not going to get a peddler's license here in Chicago and peddle legal weed on the street.
You should be able to have it in Chicago. We don't need it. We so gangster. We don't even care about no police or none of that. You go down Madison, they got their quarter bags and they wave and let you know right here, player. They see, and that's the thing, because while we say it's wrong, it's not right. But what is wrong and what is right?
Okay, I'm getting out the screen. I just had to throw that in because y'all were talking about it. Okay.
How the system has played us, though, it's like we survivors. We're survivors by nature.
Right.
So if we survivors by nature, Russ, we're gonna survive. And this is one thing I tell people all the time. So if you're not going to help the returning citizen become a productive member of society, what you expect for me to do? I'm gonna
Right.
go and do what I normally know how to do, and that is survive. No, no
Exactly.
matter what it is, whether it's selling weed, selling coke, selling dope, robbing, stealing, killing, whatever it is, carjacking, we are survivors. So we're
Right.
saying to you, here's an opportunity to reduce it. Because this is all I tell them all the time. They just talked to me last week. I say we can reduce recidivism, we can reduce violence, we can reduce homelessness, and we can reduce unemployment. These are the four elements that we can do. Now, I'm not here to tell you we can make it go away, because that's a lie. It's not going away.
Right.
But we can reduce it. And so if you give us the opportunity to reduce those things, then you will see that numbers will start to shrink as not, and we're not doing the textbook stuff. You already know how I am, Russ, with that. The textbook. Well, here in Grand
Right.
Crossing, the shooting has went down 3% from last year. Come on, man, really? Are we really? So where's the unemployment?
Right.
Right? Where's the rehabilitation? Right? Where's the housing percentage going? Where's all this going? I don't see none of this. But you want to tell me on a textbook and your radar and your data says this, that, and the third. But I'm here to tell you that TRS is actually doing the work, and they actually providing, and they can show you where they help reduce recidivism, they help reduce violence, they help reduce homelessness, and they help reduce unemployment. But yet, you still will not give them the money that is deserved to them. That's my biggest thing.
Right.
I'm not knocking how nobody do nothing, but give them money where money is due.
Exactly. And for so long, we had to put our feet down. I think Reverend Green, we just got tired. She just got tired of what we call it sharecropping. These
Yeah,
large organizations go
yeah,
get all these big grants and get all this
yes,
money in grant, and then
yes,
want to let us sharecrop and for pennies. We was tired
yes,
of
yes,
for a lot
yes.
of years. We were one of the best kept secrets in Chicago because we was doing all the work. They was
And they
getting
was
all the
getting all
money.
that. That's right.
They were getting
That's
all the
right.
funding, and we were surviving on peanuts.
That's
So
right.
we had. That's why right now we demand we want to be at the table. We're gonna continue to do the work. We're gonna serve the people. That's not a problem. But when
That's
it
right.
comes to sharecropping, if we ain't at the table when you write the grant, then you don't have to give us none of the grant. We ain't got to be in. We want to be at the table. Write us in the grant with you. We can do the grant with you. You know what I'm saying?
And you know I'm a straight shooter,
Right?
so you already know where I'm going to go with this.
Hey,
Because
that's
at
what
the
it
end of
is.
the day, ain't nowhere in the world that I'm not mad. And see, that's another thing I want y'all to understand here on this show. All our viewers, I'm not a hater. I'm just keeping it real. There is no way in HELL that these new organizations that's come in and getting 80 and 70 and $50 million grants
Grants
when TRS has been there for over 30 some years.
over 30 years. Right?
Over 30 some years, and is doing the work boots on the ground. And Reverend Green and her husband and the children, not only just her and her husband, but her husband and their children
And the children. Right?
has
Exactly.
went on to revolutionize this thing and take it to a whole nother level. And yet they are not given the proper due that they deserve. And I can't understand. I don't get down with it. I'm not knocking Arnie Duncan. I'm not knocking Cure Violence. I'm not knocking the Peace Institute. But these cats don't really have a clue to what's going on with us. You can hire us, but you don't have no idea of how we roll coming from reentry and recovery. They don't have that. So
Right.
how is they gonna give it? But they're gonna dish it up. Come on, man. I just have a problem with it, Russ.
They,
I have
they,
a problem with that.
they're gonna want to get a MOU, a memorandum of agreement, a memorandum of understanding, and then they're gonna want to refer people to us.
And that's what I'm talking about.
They gonna
So
want to
that,
refer people to us so we can do that direct service.
And that's my thing.
They
Bro.
advocate for the money. We do direct service.
Right.
And we tired of it. Yeah, we tired of it. We ain't doing it no more.
So if you're doing that, if you're doing a memorandum of understanding, and you sending people to us, then send us some of that grant.
That's what I'm talking. That's what we talking
send us
about.
some of the millions of dollars that you get. We don't have a problem with that.
Don't have a problem with it at all.
But you're not going to continue to have us doing all this work, and y'all ain't. And that's why I don't rock with it. That's why I just faded back. I'm like, no, all the activism. No, I ain't doing that because you out there. We risking your life first of all.
Right.
And they ain't giving you nothing. And I don't charge. I do this because I do it. But at the same time, there comes a time when they told us, you and I was there, you can't volunteer all your life.
Exactly.
Volunteering ain't putting money or ain't paying the rent, it ain't putting food on the table. So you have to get paid for your services. And you guys have been trained long enough in order when you should be receiving some residuals for your work. So that's the whole thing we talking about right now. So they just, man, and like, yes, right, Chris, they just want data and nothing else. And so when we look at this, how do we going to change society as a whole, and especially the returning citizens is really in a dark place right now, because now with what they're doing, they don't want to give out the resources. They don't want, because you and I both know, when we was in that halfway house, Russell, we didn't have no damn $90 a week. Where we gonna get $90 a week and we just came home?
Yeah.
Then we got to give up all our food stamps. Come on, man. And that's why I told Miles I couldn't do it. I mean, I got to go. I can't do this from here. I'm not, because I know what it's going to lead to. Because that means you telling me, in other words, either I get the $90 or I got to go back, or I'm on my own, or I'm AWOL. No, I ain't. I'm going to find something else. And luckily, I found independent living on Central and Race, man. Otherwise, who knows? We might not be having this conversation right now.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Well, let me tell you this here, Brother Raymond. God has been good. You know what I'm saying? God has been good. God has.
The Alliance is control of the money. They control a lot of the money. We have some people on live too, you know. So Harlan Alliance is controlling a lot of that money. And see, that's another person. I really don't, and I'm letting the world know I really don't rock with them people. Because them people do not rock with us under no circumstances. They ain't got our best interest at heart, whether it's returning citizen, recovery, or in our community. They just there for the data. And I ain't gonna rock with them.
So like I was saying, Raymond, you know, God has been good.
Yes.
We're not sharing our data anymore. We're telling our own story. We're keeping our data, and we're telling our own stories right now. And we're writing our own grants. And like I say, God has been good. God has been faithful. Yes. And you know, everything that I could imagine, some things I couldn't even imagine is happening. You know what I'm saying? I get so much goodness and just release out of just being able to help someone. I helped a guy got a union job yesterday. You know, I sat here on the computer for 2 hours, going back and forth with the guy, putting it in. Another guy who I was in the joint with is the manager, and he needed a cook. And I'm sitting here for 2 weeks. I mean, we finally got this guy to sit down in here. I filled out the application form. Called the guy on the phone. He went and pulled the application, and the guy working. So it's like, you know, God is good. And every time the dude thanking me, I said, oh, man, good. Glad to be able to help you get a job. You won't have to go back to the joint no more. You know what I'm saying? You got a union job. Union job. He ain't just got a job where, you know, he can pay a few bills. He got a union job. You know, a union job, all the things that union people get. I don't know exactly what all that is, but I know it's a good pay. I know it's a good paying job, and he can take care of him and his woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the kind of jobs that we need. Those are the type of paying jobs that these organizations need to start giving. I like to say for Transformer Reentry Services, a lot of times I was the only full-time person here. Everybody that works for Transformer Reentry Service right now is full-time.
Right.
Tell me God ain't good.
Yeah, that's it.
Everybody is full-time. You know what I'm saying?
Just like with the Second Chance program. We got a number of people. We got a number of people in the Second Chance program who now is actually reaping the benefits. And Brother Chris say, then you have to see what political interests are behind them. Well, I know most of the political interest that's behind them, and
Right.
they don't want to see me because they know I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't got
Right.
time for that, man. It's
Right.
we struggle too much, man. And
And
it's
too
really
long.
it's not even that hard for if the man or the woman come home and they shows that they are productive and they striving for perfection and you see this, then you should be able to afford them some opportunities.
Exactly.
But we're not asking for a handout. We asking
Exactly.
for a
There you go.
handout.
Right. We just want to hand
We
up.
didn't ask you to give us nothing. We're gonna get our own. As me and you sit here today, as returning citizens, have changed our life, went on to become productive and continues to be productive.
Right.
This is a prime example of what we talk about.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we didn't ask them for nothing.
Right.
Me and you, I can remember us sitting on that porch talking about what we gonna do and how we gonna get our lives together. Hey, what's
Right.
going on, Pip? Hey, darling. So I remember that. I
I
can
remember
remember this
too, Raymond.
vividly. Brother Al, you know what I'm saying?
Big Al, I remember.
We sat there, we holding that, we started chairing the meetings and speaking at the meetings and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we knew that it was greater work to be done,
Right.
and we had to do it. And so the Bible talk about the highways and the byways. I heard a brother, oh man, you went to Houston, you changed. No, I'm at Houston doing the same thing I was doing in Chicago.
That's right. Connecting back.
Giving back. That's all we can do is give back.
Yeah.
Ain't no giving up. We giving back though.
Right.
And we got to help our people, man, because at the end of the day, this is what they need. But to your point earlier, that mental health and that treatment,
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it out there. If you can get Reverend Green, because we need Reverend Green on the show anyway, we can get them on, and we need some treatment. We need to get our people some help, man. We need to get some doctors where they can come sit down and talk about this because people carry a lot. I carry a lot. You carry a lot.
Even today, yes.
Even right now today with all what's going on, we carry a lot.
Yeah.
And like you say, I still wake up like
Me too.
clockwork at 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
And go check the door.
Man, and look at the windows. Check the windows too.
Check the window in the door. Hey, it's one of those things.
I could be to watch a good movie
Mm-hmm.
and stayed up to 3 or 3:30, man. I'm
Right.
up like clockwork, man. And my baby like, why you do that? I said, baby, that's something that ain't gonna never go away. So you might well get used to this here because at the end of the day, that's how we was programmed, and this is what we're talking about.
Right.
And so if our youth was out there and they study saying that that's all they can do, did you see the siege they just did in Los Angeles?
No.
They caught $1.some million worth of fentanyl pills.
Wow.
So this is what our youth are in trouble.
Yeah.
They shipping the stuff in, synthetic stuff in, and they giving it to them. And not only that, the returning citizen too. They taking it too because everybody wants to be in the limelight. Everybody wants to be cool. Everybody wants to be in the now.
Right.
But they don't know that fentanyl is nothing to play with.
It ain't nothing to play with.
It ain't nothing to play with.
That's another part of our harm reduction. We have fentanyl test strips, so we got the strips. So if you're going to use drugs, and get a clean needle, and we have these strips, so you can actually test the drug. You can put it in there, and it'll let you know if there's some fentanyl in there. But the crazy thing is, people test the drug, and if it's just heroin by itself, they don't really want it. They don't want it. No, they want the fentanyl in the heroin now. So,
hey, bro, I got to go back. I got to go back into my addiction days. We always ask, "What the old boy just OD? Where that's at?" Oh, that's our south. That's our west. That's where we want to go. And that's the dope that we wanted. We didn't want the dope that was safe for us. We want the dope that was going to kill us.
Exactly. That's what they want.
That's what they're doing right now. They don't want regular heroin. They want heroin laced with fentanyl, or they want straight fentanyl because fentanyl get them to wherever they
need to go to.
Because I never understood that. It's like it's animal tranquilizer. So that's how powerful this stuff is.
Yeah.
If they can knock down the elephant, a human don't stand a chance, man.
No, they really don't. But that's the way our culture is now, and wow. We just have to do what we have to do to keep them safe until they can get that opportunity to say, okay, I'm tired of this. I ain't gonna do this no more.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Brother Russell.
Mm-hmm.
They told us in the program, 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough.
Right, I get
So
that.
it's that one that's going to probably knock them off. Because at the end of the day, now they drinking syrup.
Right.
They taking pills. They lacing the weed or the blunts or whatever, the backwoods, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they drinking alcohol on top of all that.
Yeah. Well, Raymond, you know, our people are hurting. You know, people are hurting. You know, you got to think about it.
Yes,
People
yes.
are hurting. You know, and especially the reentry population. I don't know if you know, Raymond. I used to walk up and down Cicero Avenue from. I used to go from 78 to 95th, up and down one side, back down the other side, just asking somebody to give me a job. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would have washed dishes, mopped the floor, took out the whatever it is they needed done. I would have been able, I would have done that just so I could have got a job. You know, our mentality of our kids and the young people now, they don't want to wash dishes. They don't want to do that kind of work. You know, I'd have done anything just that, so I can say I had a job. But you know, they want the glamour job or no job. Or I even found out I thought the stimulus check was a good thing, and I come to find out that you know I had 3 positions open here where I'm trying to hire somebody. You know, especially from the reentry population, I couldn't find nobody that
Exactly.
actually wanted to work. You know what I'm saying? That actually wanted to work. So uh, it takes
Chris,
a
and brother,
special
hold
kind of
on. Brother Chris just said, and now it's worse. It's fentanyl and horse tranquilizers mixed together.
yeah, they do.
That's
They
a,
do.
that's a
They mixing
recipe for disaster.
that. Yeah, they are mixing this tranquilizer with the fentanyl and the heroin. So it's like wow.
And so it comes back to what you were saying earlier about the mental health.
Yeah.
We
Like I
need
said, our
doctors,
people are hurting. Our people are hurting.
right? And we need doctors, and we need some solutions to some of these problems, man. Because at the end of the day, if it's not, I don't care how many times we come on these shows. If we don't get people in the community, we get some doctors to send there. And let me say this to our people: stop being afraid to tell somebody something wrong with you,
Right.
because they can see it anyway. You ain't got to tell them, because the way we act, they know something wrong with us. Nobody wakes up and do that. Who wakes up with their pants hanging down their butt uh, on the corner all day with 30 guys with talking about we got loud or got pistols and doing it? That's a form of insanity, because you lost your mind if you did that. So they know something wrong with you already. So you might as well go and sit down and talk to the people and let them know why you act the way you act and why you're going through what you're going through, so that you can help be possibly delivered from that. Because they need some deliverance right now, bro. Because at the end
Right.
of the day, if this is and look at the graveyard, man. And now look at the penitentiary.
Well, let me say this, Brother Raymond, that I'm not sure if it's because of the good work that Transformer Reentry Service is doing, or the work that other community-based organizations are doing. But in pre-pandemic, IDOC had 49,000 people incarcerated. Post-pandemic, they got 27,000 people in IDOC now. So either
Okay.
people are not going back to prison. Some of this community work is actually working. You understand what I'm saying? But they're
And they
not
say
going back.
and they said narco don't work.
Who?
They said the narco is not working.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying what they said. But and that's
It's
good
not working.
numbers.
Right.
That's good numbers on that. But is that good numbers as far as the IDOC goes, as far as being incarcerated? Because they also are incarcerated if they're on house arrest as well. So if they're
Well,
on
we
house
talking about inside IDOC. You know, I did a presentation. I know pre-pandemic was like 49,000.
uh-huh.
Post-pandemic is 20. That's 22,000 people that's not locked up in Illinois Department of Corrections. Now, whether because they let them out early because of the pandemic, the good work that people are doing in the community.
Well, we can say a combination of both, but at the end of the day, it's because they basically ain't know what you housing the wrong people.
Exactly. Right.
These people need help.
Right.
They have issues. It's not. They need treatment. We suffer from anxiety disorders, mental illness, schizophrenia, paranoia. All this stuff happens when you living in the street life, man. I still get it right now. The fireworks go off. I'm ready. I'm reaching for something I ain't even got. That goes. I'm reaching for a pistol and I ain't got no pistol. Or I'm grabbing on the ground as if to get some cover.
Right.
That's something that we suffer from. Brother Henry said the first step in overcoming a situation is to admit that you have a problem. Oh, no question. And so this is what I'm saying, bro. And then they putting all these young brothers on house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And then these UUWs, these gun cases, right?
Right.
First offenders, they get out what? They get house arrest or they get right out. How many of them has repeated who have got out on house arrest and went and did the same thing again? Like the man was on, I remember the young man was on house arrest and he went and killed his girlfriend.
Wow.
I'm saying, what? The law, look, bro, it's just me. The laws have to be tougher, man. I mean, I know we can't lock our way up out this problem, but brother, when I tell you, if they understand that they not coming home once they get caught with that pistol, maybe that'll do something to them. Or the way that they killing out in the streets, the death penalty won't be bad either.
It's something they're gonna have to do something. I'm not sure what.
And this is not from a hurting point of view. This is from a realistic approach. Because at the end of the day, if you're not scared to shoot my mama, my children, ain't nobody safe, then you are a menace to society and you don't need to be out here anymore. And for those who do that vicious, cowardly act, they need to be dealt with in the highest form, man. This is ridiculous. Brother, you out there doing all the great work that you're doing. You're helping so many people. And you could be going to get in your car and they'll gun you down. Now you ain't did nothing to nobody, or they'll come and carjack you.
Right. Hey.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy. It's dangerous. I know.
Brother Chris said it's 120 who was caught with a gun that caught a murder charge. You hear that? Now that's 120 people have been caught with a gun and went on to get a murder charge.
After the gun charge.
Fact.
Yeah.
And then I don't get into political thing, but I'm tired in it. Nobody challenged Tom Dark, but that one lady challenged him, and they railroaded her. I'm talking about railroaded her. I had on my show. That's how I know they railroaded her. So they want this to continue to go on. They're not, listen, you driving with the county sheriffs and y'all trying to catch a few, that's all right. Mm-hmm. But that ain't nearly enough. And so with all the work that TRS does, all the work that these other groups do, it's not enough, man. Because I'm gonna say this. They're not giving the money to the right people. And I'm just keeping it straight out, flat on the table. I'm gonna keep it real.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm gonna take you back. Now, I can really take you back when we just started. You remember when Safer was the big dogs?
I remember I was in the joint.
Remember, Safer was the one
brought computers into the prisons, and I got a degree in computers.
Exactly.
From Safer, yes, exactly. I remember when Safer, but I think what happened, they took some money from Safer. Something happened.
No, they took that money and went on them extravagant vacations, and they got caught. That's what happened. They got caught. And we know a few of them that got caught because we still work with them to today. And Taz was another one. And they would give down the pennies to the remaining reentry programs that they thought was fit in order to do certain things. And that was the first part. And now Heartland Alliance and all the rest of them, they doing it now. It's just the same thing, man. So they pimping us. We like T.O. said it best. T.O. said Black Death is a hustle. And not the form of just being a Black Death. It's the form of reentry, recovery, homelessness, right?
Right.
All that, they use all that to get their hustle on. And they use that. And they're using us, man. And so
Right.
that's why I don't, that's why I don't rock with them, man. It's too much, bro. I'm talking
Right.
about you got these young brothers out here, they hopeless. When you look in their eyes, you don't even see a soul.
Right.
Because
So,
nobody has went back and said, hey, man, we can do it this way. No, they ain't doing it. Ain't nobody doing it. Because you know what they're saying? Now, I don't want to get caught up in the RICO Act. But if not now, then when?
right.
If we
Right.
don't do it now, when we going? It's really gonna be too late. Because you got to remember, we got children and grandchildren coming up too. That
Right.
we want to be safe, and by any means, we're gonna protect them. So,
Right.
God forbid something like that happens. Then what? You don't just put us in a predicament that we
We
didn't
got to act. We got
even.
to do something.
Exactly.
Right, we got to do something. So look at here, Raymond. We talking about the children and the grandchildren, and we talking about this reentry. Reverend Green and Kim. We kind of get on a thing about no entry. Why does a person have to go to prison in the first place? So perhaps we should start getting to our youth at an early age, as opposed to waiting until they get into the prison system and come home and have to reentry. It should probably be no entry if we
And
could.
that's great, because we should be doing uh, preventative measures.
Exactly.
That we should be doing. That's what we started off doing. If you remember, we were doing preventative measures at first, but then they were saying no. If they don't have a background, then they ain't gonna get. They not.
They
Ain't
don't want
nobody
to put the money behind somebody that
not
don't
gonna
have a
fund
background.
us. Exactly. They wouldn't fund people, so people stopped. They went away from the preventative measures and only went with the ones who was incarcerated afterwards. And Brother Chris said it's the judge's fault, not Kim Fox. See, a lot of people blame Kim Fox too, and they
Right.
blame a lot, even Lori Lightfoot. Let's just keep it real. She was inherited. She didn't come with that. She was inherited that, and she trying to do what the best she can do, but ain't nobody working with her in order to help reduce none of the stuff we talking about.
Exactly. Right. Right.
But they want to line their pockets up so that they can get the residuals, but they ain't actually doing the work. I ask you all the time, tell me,
Mm-hmm.
where does what's the guy name from Cure Violence? What's his name? It'll lose me. But where do Arnie Duncan stay? He don't
Right.
stay in the hood.
Well, we know that.
He don't stay in the hood. I mean, no, I'm just saying. You want to take, man, I'm talking about, man. It's so, and like you say, no entry. That's a good concept. And
Yeah.
that's something that I think that you and TRS should be bringing to forth. And we could do a show. If you want to do a show, I'm telling you right now, we can do a show about it.
We should. I get with Reverend Green, and
Right.
when she come on, we'll talk about it because
Because
we've been
we
discussing.
definitely need to do it. We need to do a show about that, bro. Because at the end of the day, guess what, man? We can reduce it. We can't stop it,
Right? No, we ain't
but
trying
we
to stop
can
that.
reduce it. And those four elements, we can reduce it. We can reduce recidivism. We can reduce violence. We can reduce homelessness, and we can reduce unemployment, man.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what we can do. That we know we can do. You know, and that's why when I was talking to leadership council, we having a meeting yesterday, and we having another meeting in the morning. We're talking about the clean slate piece, so that we don't have to worry about that. That brothers don't have to worry about waiting forever to get their backgrounds done and all that, because we know at the end of the day it prevents them. While I'm waiting for them to clean my record or seal my record, a young man right now has lost 3 good paying jobs for $20+ an hour because the wreckage of his past, man.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And he been reaching out to me, and he's been working with me, and I've been working with him and I just have to tell him, don't lose the faith. I'm with you. I understand. I get it. But please don't lose the faith, because he came so far now. For him to give up now, this is what I tell people all the time. Once you put some skin in the game, you don't go backwards, go forward.
Yeah. That's hurting. I have a few people that worked a job and And the funny thing is, they worked on the job for 4 or 5 years or something, and then they get put in for a promotion. So when
There
they
you
get
go.
put in for that promotion, they do another background check on him. They say, "Oh, he got a background," and then he ended up getting fired because he got put up for a promotion.
And that's the same thing. So where, in the words of Benny Lee,
Yeah,
where
well,
do my wrongs end and my rights begin, man?
exactly. When does that?
It's just so much because at the end of the day, if we say, and this is what me and you and I've been doing, when we go out for jobs, we look for jobs for people, we ask them, are you background friendly, right? So we let them know. We let them know we work with returning citizens and formerly incarcerated people.
Right,
So what are you expecting to see other than we telling you the truth right now?
right,
So now
exactly.
this young man or this young lady's been on the job for 4 or 5 years, outstanding work.
Yeah,
When it comes time for a promotion, that shouldn't prevent her or him from getting that promotion, but yet it does because that's the card that they play, man.
and they end up losing the job altogether.
Man, that's the card they play, and it
Yeah,
drives me crazy, dog. I'm talking
it
about,
does.
ooh, man, that's game.
Yeah,
That's game. That's the game that they play on us, man. And,
right.
and, and we need to. That's why we fought. That's why we just put in 9 laws, right? And what we're
Mhm.
talking about is not the 9 laws we just put in effect, but what is coming out of those laws. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at what come out of them laws. Is housing getting done? Is the employment system getting done? Is the background system getting done? Is the penal system getting better? So we looking at these things right now, and this is what Rocky, Restoring Rights and Opportunities of Illinois, is working on right now. So you'll be hearing about that a lot too. And we'll be asking, and we're asking all organizations, churches, and everything, because we want to come and do a presentation everywhere to let people know about their human rights and their civil rights because they're being violated at all time high, and people don't even understand that.
So
And we're going to introduce the clean slate to them so that people will be up on a clean slate. And we ask them that people come in and champion on that so that we can help change the outcome of this narrative that we're facing, man, because it's ugly, man. And you know, to our brothers that's working out there, you know, on the violence part, I don't have no gripes with you if you shining. That's not, that's the last and the least of my worries. But when
right,
you're doing it and you're not being productive, then I have a problem with you.
right,
I have a problem with you. Don't come on Facebook talking about you've been here, you've been doing. That ain't helping that young man that just got his brains blown out on 59th and on Union. That ain't helping that young lady that's missing.
right.
But see, when we talking about violence, we talking about all forms of violence. We're not just talking about the shootings. You
Hmm.
know, we talking about domestic violence. See, we got to get back to the holistic approach. They picking one piece and going with one piece.
Right.
So this is the piece they're comfortable with, Russell. So they're gonna go with this piece here. Or we're just
Mhm.
gonna go with this. Just like in reentry, like you just said yourself. We're TRS is doing such a great job. Let's send them what we send? Send them 200,000. Let them know we love their work. 200,000? That ain't even paying for my staff. So what are you really doing? Like you said, they plantation. They that's what they do. That's plantation. That's, man, I'm telling you about. It's so sad, but that's what's going on. That's what I see in violence prevention right now.
Right.
And,
That's
and I
exactly
don't
what we
understand
call it
the rest of it.
sharecropping, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. They
sharecropping.
sharecropping.
Yeah.
Even and then you know, it's like they don't want to put the people in play that's actually doing the work and actually get this stuff done, man. So
Hmm.
that again, I commend you guys on all that you do, man. Whatever it is we can do, you know, let me know. You know, brothers done together, we still here, we still going strong. We
Right.
we base we base we going worldwide. We're not just there, you know. Shout out to Pip, you know, for helping us in Kansas. You know, it's a lot going on, man, that we trying to fulfill and we trying to do, man. But it starts with the reentry and recovery. I don't care what they say. They keep on talking. Ain't nothing gonna change until you change reentry and recovery. Once we get to tackle those issues and get some doctors in these communities, I mean, what would it cost for to get? And then another thing, we education, bro. We
Right.
have to educate our people on what's going on because that's why they won't come and sit down with the doctor. This is my belief. Why they won't come sit down with the doctors because they think people always trying to. They've been lied to so much they don't know who to believe.
I agree. I get that.
You tell them, Russell. You say,
Yeah,
hey,
I get
if you
that.
go to that doctor, doctor gonna help you. They thinking like, no, they just trying to get some money off me,
I get
and
that.
that's not even the case. We trying to actually help you. And for the ones that they know that's trying to help them, they can halfway trust us. So that's another issue. So
Right.
we just got to keep on building, man. We got to keep grinding, man. We have to, bro.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna suggest, so we don't have no empty conversation, and this won't just be something that was just that we just did. I'm gonna have a conversation with Reverend Green, and we're gonna talk about getting some mental health uh, for our returning citizens. Like you say, talk about some doctors. Every now and then I run across these people who want to come in here and do behavior health and mental health,
Yeah.
pro bono or sliding scale, whatever it is, through Medicaid. It just a lot of time we get busy doing what we do, and a lot of times if we don't have these conversations and you bring it back to memory that we've been traumatized, and if we
Yes.
don't deal with that, we all carry around baggage, and we got those mental health issues that and even to a point where we don't want to talk to nobody, but we know something ain't quite right, so it's something that we need to do. You know
You
what I'm saying?
think?
We need to do so. Yeah, something ain't quite right. There's something we need to do. Somebody we need to talk to,
Exactly.
and let's not be afraid of doing that. But we have to put it in a way where people will be willing to talk to somebody. Not put it in a way where we thinking you crazy or something going on with you. But we have to package it to our own people who we understand and who understand us. Just have a conversation. It don't have to be one-on-one conversation. We can have a group meeting. We can get the
Yes.
cab members together. Get the cab members together, and we would probably be surprised how many of our cab members
Yeah.
actually need to talk to somebody.
And I'm one of them.
Hey,
And I'm right
we two of them.
there. I'm right there because I mean, bro, I have a lot going on, man. Good evening, sister. How you doing, sister Porsche? I have a lot going on with me, and then not only that, we now this is the thing. I'm not even talking about the past. I'm talking about right now.
Now,
Because
right now, right,
we talking about the past and right now.
right.
There's some hell of the issues that I'm dealing with that I need to address. I'll be ready to explode. See, like they said in the program, in my magical magnifying mind, I think that I can handle this, but I really can't.
You
But in
really
my mind, I think I can because somebody told me that you strong and don't cry and hold your head up and no, man, hell no. I'm fine. I'm man. And I tell you, bro, the best move I ever made, and I'm gonna keep it real 100, was to change my environment.
right. That goes a
I
long
can
way.
think a little clear now. I can make some better decisions,
Hmm.
and I feel that I'll be more helpful to our people than harmful.
Right. Okay.
And that's another thing we have to address too. We have to talk to people because it comes a time when God will ask you to move around.
Yep. Yep.
And you got to be able to hear him when he talks to you and give you those directions. Because again, the Bible says the highways and the byways. It didn't say Chicago is the only way you can make it.
Right.
And he don't like nobody, he don't like a coward. So he don't want you to be fearful of change. And that's what we fearful of. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. If you really look at it, the whole thing is we in fear of change. I know I was, and I was trapped like that for 20 plus years in the horrors of my addiction. So
Right.
I know that all that time it was all because of fear
Right.
of change. And
Or fear of the unknown.
that's what it is. That's all it is. That's all
Right.
it is, bro.
Fear of the
That's all
unknown.
it is. And so when we talk about that, we need to address these things. And I think that TRS will be a great starting point for us to do that. I hope that you talk to Reverend Green. Well, I know you
I
is. I know
promise
you're
you, I
talking to
will.
Cab,
I
and
will.
you talk to Richard
Yeah.
and talk to Cab, and we can have Cab on the show, and we can start talking about this. We can put it out there, bro,
Yeah.
and
We can.
we can lead that because all us Cab brothers, we can do that.
Right.
Chicago's always good. Yeah, Chicago's always good, but it's also good for change. We talking about change.
Change is good too. Yeah, change is good too.
Yeah, change is always good.
Yeah.
But that's what we can do. So we can get the Cab brothers together. You can talk with them. We can sit down and we can see how we can get a show, and we can talk about the mental health. And we can even get. Is there any way you can get what was that doctor? What was that doctor Russell? The
Which
doctor
one?
that
Doctor.
man, I forget that lady. It was a lady and a man.
At the county jail, not the Dr. Latimer.
It was a lady and a man at the no, at y'all facility, at y'all
At the
site.
family support group.
You know, you want to do Reverend Green know and ask can he or she or can we find somebody to come sit in on the conversation?
Right. Or we'll get somebody. We'll get somebody.
Yeah.
I got Dr. Latimer.
They can see a clerical doctor, and we
Right.
not just we become our own doctors.
Yep, we can.
We become our own doctors, and we
get a clinical doctor.
We try to solve our own problems
and become even more mentally transparent.
Oh yeah, no question. Mr. Lapp said Chicago's most definitely gonna be my city. I just have to love it from afar. Of course, and that's it. That's what we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, bro, we have to make some type of change, man. Because if we don't, the program teaches us if nothing changed, nothing changed. And that's one thing I can talk about the recovery. And I love my recovery with all my heart, man. And I take it to everything because it taught me so much and how to identify so many different things that normally I wouldn't be able to identify, man.
Right. I understand.
You could have told me right now. I'd be sitting here in Orlando with my friends, and they celebrating my birthday.
And you working?
And I'm working. They said you ain't gotta do nothing. I said no, I gotta do my show. I got to do my show.
And you working?
And look, me and my brother, we went to get the ice, and I'm telling him, man, we got to get back. It's time. I call my partner on the phone. I say, Katie, get the show going. I'll be there in a minute. Because this is how dedicated I am to doing this.
Right.
I don't take no days off when it comes to this.
I feel
because I know. Thanks, bro. It's Wednesday though. But I know, and then I don't let the records of my past reflect on my future. But it does get in your way.
Yeah.
Even though it will get in your way because I've had some companies that want to do some business with me, and I don't know how, but they got in my files. They found my files and told me, once you get that together, we can do some business. Until then, I'll do business. And I was like, what? So now I'm like, I called CGLA immediately, like, hey, what's going on? And from that conversation, it sparked where we have to get some clean slate to where we don't have to worry about that no more, bro. That shouldn't have never happened.
Right.
With all the work that I do right now, even with Benny Lee, even with yourself,
right?
They would use that truck card that they get, and that's our background because we have a number.
Right. It comes up quite a bit. Hey, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. Oh, but no, we can't do that now. No, we can't do that. So, you understand why when stuff like that happens, you understand what it is. We all know it's the number.
Exactly. And that's another thing. We got to brush that out. Yeah. We did that. Just like Benny Lee again, he said, when do my wrongs end and my rights begin? Somewhere we have to get this stuff taken. And I think clean slate is the best shot. I'm not saying it's the only shot, but I think it is the best shot with all the companies and all our young brothers like Marlon, Chamberlain, all them, they advocated for this. And these are young brothers advocating because they understand that in order to be free, we have to be fully free.
Yeah, gotta be fully free. I ain't sure if you was up with those organizations or not, but I've gone to a couple of meetings that they have on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of those meetings. I didn't know what the clean slate was, so I guess I'm gonna have to read up on it before we talk the next time. Before the CAB meeting, I'll talk about the clean slate, and once I read up on it and find out what it is, and when we had a CAB meeting on the something. 20. Okay, I ain't got my glasses on. The 22nd. On the 22nd, we had a cab meeting. I'll bring up the clean slate again, and we'll deal with it from there. You froze on me, brother.
Done, man.
Huh?
Because
No, no, you okay now?
and that's just to make so much happen, man. Because we definitely need that, man. Because these are opportunities that, like I was telling you, the young brother, that they might don't get again, man. They might don't get that opportunity or to get that job opportunity again, man.
Right, right,
But they looking for security now. They're not just looking for a job; they're looking
right.
for job security.
Job
You know,
security.
and until they're able to become entrepreneurs themselves, that
Right,
is a great starting point when you get a job with benefits.
right, right. It means a lot. It really
You
means
know,
a lot. It's just a wage paying job, a job that you can actually live off of. You know what I'm saying?
and that's what I'm talking about. And so, children need some health issues. Dental care. You can
Right,
take your child to the doctor. All that. So I think that's going to play an important part, man. And I think that's what a lot of these young brothers and sisters are going for. And when they're not getting the opportunities, it's becoming discouraging. And
right.
then they're saying, you know what we do? We do best, man. Forget that. I'm back on the block. Hey, Joe, let me get that startup kit. Once they get the startup kit, it's on the
So
park.
it's on
Then
there, huh?
what? Next couple of weeks, we read about them on the news
Right.
or in the paper. Come on, man.
hmm So that's another reason why when we have someone from Reentry come in, we ask that question, uh, well, what is it that you need? You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to keep from going back on the block, or what
What?
is it that you need that we can help you with to help you with this transition where you can transition from being in prison and being a productive citizen with a decent paying job and able to take care of your family without having to work 3, 4 different jobs.
But let
What
me
is
ask
it
you
that
this.
you
Let
need?
me
Yeah.
ask you this, Russell. Let me ask you
hmm
this. Would it be too profound if they really didn't know?
Most of them don't.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Most of them
hitting on.
don't. Most of
Most
them
of them
don't.
know when you ask them, what do you need? What do we have? What they don't know.
They don't know. They have
So
no
we
idea,
have to
no
help
clue.
them to identify with some of the things that they might need in order to help them along the way.
Yeah, and I think that comes from talking to someone.
And that's
That's where
building
that
a
comes from.
relationship. That's what we was taught, how to build a relationship with
Building
people.
that relationship with someone, talking to someone, and kind of sorting things out. Come to find out
Yes,
why you don't know what it is that you want to do. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? And
Exactly.
it's all wrapped up into the trauma that they've been through from
Hmm.
being incarcerated and being addicted and all this other stuff. So they really don't know. So and that's what we found out. We did a survey and we found out that they really don't know what they want. They really don't know what they need. They don't know what it would take. We found out that it wasn't a job. It wasn't a apartment. It wasn't a house. It was a change of their mind. They need to
A
get their
mindset.
mindset. Their
Exactly.
mindset. So it was
Yes.
their mindset. You got to be able to. And how you going to change a person's mindset if you can't build a relationship with that person? You build a
Exactly.
relationship with that person, and then that person is more out to listen to you and understand where you're coming from, and he might change his mindset. If he don't, you ain't trying to save the whole world anyway. There's another brother coming right behind him, and
Yes.
if you got something in place where everybody get an opportunity to have a mentor to deal with one of us cab members and go through what we've gone through and get that opportunity to get that good job, that good paying job, or get that education, or be able to just talk to someone.
Yes. And let's talk about careers.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Careers, a
You
job.
got to kick because the job is one thing, but let's talk about them getting some great careers because there's a lot of careers out there for them, and they don't have the knowledge. It's like it's a lot of upscale jobs,
Yep.
and what it's not that the job's not the problem. The problem of our people lack the skills in order to receive the job, and then they want to get mad about it. But we tell them just like with in the construction industry, they got to go learn a trade.
Right. Right.
So
So
we tell them go learn a trade, and we can help go to bat with you, just like you went to bat and helped that brother get in with cooking. You see what I'm saying?
right.
But he had a skill,
He
and
had a skill. He was a cook.
exactly, and he went it, and he had to have some credentials behind it because you just can't. Anybody can come and say I'm a cook. No, that don't
Right.
work like that.
He's a cook. I mean, he's a
And that's
cook.
what I'm saying.
He's
So
a cook.
this is what I wanted to talk to them about as well. Stop being afraid to go back to get them skills that you need to get in
Right.
order to help you become even more productive. A skill, a trade can help you all around the world.
It
And
sure
you never
can.
know when you got to pick up and leave.
Right.
So you can pick up and leave, be a carpenter, electrician, a plumber, a floor man, a painter. You know what I'm saying? Sheet metal, whatever it is you're doing, you'll have that trade, and you can take that trade wherever you go.
That's right. That's what they need. So how do we get it instilled in them? We had a conversation at the cab meeting. How do we get these people in? Are we going to bring in young people? Do I need to bring in a bunch of young people? Who's going to be able to bring in more young people? Like I said, I'm 65. Uh, Most young people or people coming home from prison and jail would probably be more apt to want to listen to someone who's their age. You know, it's like a
And
peer
the age bracket,
right,
yeah, yeah.
age bracket. So if we can get some peers in. So we have, I don't know if you know Brianna, it's Reverend Green's granddaughter. She's part of the cab. So a lot of times she know people who are out and about, who doing things and keep getting in trouble, but don't want to get in trouble. They want to try to get away from it, but they don't know how to get away from it. So
Right.
we asked her to bring them to the cab meetings and we'll put one of them with one of the cab members and put another one with another cab member. And whatever that cab member do with them through their transition, whether it's just get them a job or have them work or whatever it is, uh, then they will report back and let us know how this person is going.
And
And the
what
biggest
about
thing is the biggest thing is to make sure that they don't go back to prison. You know,
right?
that's
And what about a mixed crowd?
a mixed
And the
crowd,
reason why I say that because when you look at it, okay, yeah, the young crowd can get the young crowd, but if we get a mixed crowd
right?
with a prolific speaker such as yourself, myself, or one other cab members, and we get to talking about the different components of
Hmm.
which we provide and which we're able to assist them with, then it doesn't become our age.
Right.
Then it becomes more of awareness and how we can help you get to where you're trying to go with these certain steps that you take. But it's good to have the youth thing too, because the young people could bring other young people.
Right.
But we don't want to just bring young people, just like we can bring returning citizens. We just don't want to bring returning citizens. We want to
Exactly.
bring returning citizens that want to be productive.
Exactly. Right. We don't
So
want, like I said, we can't change, we can't save the whole world. But for those
exactly.
who want an opportunity and those who want to change, who want something different, those are the people. Dr. White, you know Dr. White from Teach Foundation. She
Yeah,
called me
I'm
yesterday.
familiar. I'm familiar. I
She
look
called
familiar.
me yesterday and asked me was I still doing the GED. I said, uh, I'm doing tutoring for people who really, really want the GED. So if they don't really want it and they're not really interested in coming to class, 3, 4 days a week, then no, I'm not doing GED. I said, but if they're interested and they want it and it's not something you want for them, then no, I'm not doing GED. I said, but if they want it, then I'm doing the GED classes for them. Yeah. So she told me she's gonna have this guy. I said, have him come to me on Thursday and Friday for the first time. So she decided to send him to me next Thursday. And then she told me he was 65 years old.
Wow.
65 years old. And all his life, they told him he was dumb, that he was stupid, that he couldn't learn. So he listened to that as a young boy and as a young man coming up. Now that he's old, he realized that he ain't stupid, that he can read, that he can get educated, that there's still time where he can do some things. So he went to her and told her that he wanted to get his GED. And she figured he would need someone who would give him that special attention and that that leadership that I could probably give him by just tutoring him one on one, not in a big classroom with a bunch of people. And anyway, he's coming to see me on Thursday. So that's what we have to do sometime and just mentor a person and walk him through. I ain't never met him. I don't even know his name. All I know he'll be here next Thursday, and we're gonna work together to get this brother his GED in about 3 to 4 months. And whatever it is he want to do, I'm just me. I'm gonna just encourage him to do whatever it is he want to do. He can go do it.
Oh, that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. And that's what we have to also get back into as well, the mentorship part of it, because we want to make sure that all returning citizens and our youth fully understands. So that way they don't have an, we call it excuse buster. So
Okay.
they fully have an understanding of what's going on. So if they do go out there and commit a crime or continue to do what they do, it's not like they didn't have the knowledge and like nobody didn't help them, nobody didn't teach them, when nobody there to, you know. So that's
Right.
another thing we want to do as far as their mentorship goes.
Yeah, that's something I want to do. I want to make sure we get that done. You know, I've been teaching GED classes since I've been here. I got a wall full of my students up there
Yeah,
now.
I
Uh,
know.
and the pandemic kind of stopped that for a minute, so
Yeah,
people thought I probably wasn't doing it. But I think about 6 months ago we started really dropping the mask, and we got hand sanitizer. If a person chooses to wear a mask, they can. 95%. I think everybody, 95% of our staff is reentry, and 95% of them are fully vaccinated with the boosters. And starting August the 1st, we'll be doing the vaccination here in the office. So if they want to come here and get vaccinated, they can come here and get vaccinated. We will have those services too. So again, I just say, God is good. We moving in areas where normally we wouldn't even think about going. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We're doing things that we probably wouldn't have thought about doing years and years ago.
that's it. That's it.
But God says, you know what I'm saying? And what He says, He'll supply the need.
That's
We have
it.
a need to do some stuff. Will to want to do some stuff, and within God's will. He'll make it happen. I'm a believer. I know He'll make it happen. I'm a living proof, actually. Living
Exactly. I was going to
proof.
say your testimony.
I'm living proof that He'll do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah. So man, I ain't gonna hold you. I know it's our time. We done did a 2-hour show, buddy. I just want to let
Really?
you know. But it's great with you, man. I
Hey,
love you
you too,
guys.
man. Love seeing
Uh,
you.
anything that we can do from this point on, man, let's continue to collaborate. Let's continue to work together. Uh, get with Reverend Green. Let's set
Done.
that up. Get with the cab. Let's set
Done.
that up.
Done.
So,
Already done. I'm
with
already in
that
motion.
being said, K-Lo, come on in and take us home, K-Lo.
All right, everybody. You've been listening to
Yeah.
Conversation with Brother Raymond right here on Meta, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. And today is Friday. Listen, we want to make sure that everybody have a safe weekend. Okay? Don't
Yes.
get out there and do something crazy. Get out there and act like you're human so you can live for another weekend. All right?
All right.
Listen.
We love you. As always, I love you. Nothing you can do about it. I'm having a ball out here in Orlando, but I had to do my show. Let the people know I love my people and I work for the people. And you have been in tune with a conversation, Brother Raymond. We love you. Thank our special guest, Mr. Russell Jackson and TRS for coming in, showing their experience, strength, and hope, and giving you everything that you need. So if you need anything before we go, Brother Russell, where can they reach you guys at?
10 West 35th Street, corner of 35th and State Street in Chicago, Illinois. 601 South California, corner of California and Harrison on the west side of Chicago. We're here. We're there. Go to our website, TRS, transformerreentryservice.org. We have a website. It's popping. Check us out. We have a overdose awareness day, August the 31st. We'll be on the west side, and we're going to be doing it.
Okay, what if I just want to call you because I don't want to do all that? What if I just want to call you? How
Then
can I
pick the
call you?
phone up. Pick the phone up.
What number? What number I'm gonna call you on?
31. Can I put it in the chat? No, 312-328-9610. Both offices, same number.
Repeat it, 312.
Do it again.
328-9610.
Y'all got to
Okay,
wrap
we're
up
gonna
because a
put
lot of
that
our
up.
guests are
And
starting to
what's the
show
name of
up.
that office?
Transformer Reentry Services.
Uh-huh.
It's the same number in both offices.
Okay.
Okay, we got
Yeah.
it.
So
It'll be up. It'll be in the notes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, and we'll put it out there. We'll also put it on the page so that you guys can go out there and get the resources that y'all need. Again, go out and check these peoples out. They're phenomenal. They're my people. I've been rocking with them since I came home 2008, and they've been phenomenal ever since. And so, man, we asking that you go out there and get these services, and don't be afraid. It don't have to be with us, but don't be afraid to go out there and get the help and the resources that you need. Again, this has been a great conversation with Brother Raymond. Thank you again, Russell. Thank you, Katie
Anytime.
Lowe, my partner in crime, Katie Lizzle. And we're gonna rock the bells, man. I'm gonna kick my birthday weekend off today. And I got the guests coming in. As you can hear them coming through the door. So I don't want to keep it and I don't want to interrupt it. But man, I love you guys. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. It's peace. And I want the city of Chicago to be safe, be careful, and be aware of all of your surroundings. Enjoy yourself.
And I'll see you back here Monday at 7 p.m. on Opinions Live Streams and Podcasts. And until then, have a safe weekend. And
All
I'll
right,
see you
peace.
next Friday right here on a conversation with Brother Raymond. And Brother Raymond, you have a happy birthday. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. I certainly will.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
All
All
right.
right. Great show, great show, great show.
Absolutely. All right, we gone now.
All right.